Hello to all the comic fans, Marvel geeks, and all the nerds in between. Welcome to another episode of the new and improved Vigilante Vibes, where we talk all things Marvel along with other fandoms, but without that toxicity that's become such a big part of every fandom. I'm your host, Megan Nicole, and today we are going to go through current Marvel news and discuss the wild teaser trailer for Daredevil Born Again. But I will not be doing it alone. I will be joined by my friend and fellow nerd, Steven.
Hi.
I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about you?
Yeah. I'm 29 years old. I've always been a huge fan of Marvel since day one. I remember my first Marvel movie was probably Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man when like 2001. So ever since seeing that movie, I've always been hooked on superheroes. So love to draw superheroes or even make 3D prints and
Yeah,
helmets and whatnot. So yeah.
I've always been obsessed with your 3D prints, especially the masks. It's like ugh, I could cover my entire house with those so easily.
I'm kind of running out of room. So
Well, send them all my way. I'll fall on that sword for you. All right. So we did say we were going to get into the Marvel news. So speaking of Spider-Man, our first up, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man drops on January 29th with a two-episode premiere. But to be more clear, it will have a two-episode premiere, then will release three episodes each week, then finish with a two-part finale on February 19th. The release schedule: Episode 1 to 2, January 29th. Episode 3 to 5, February 5th. 6 to 8 will be February 12th, and 9 to 10 will be February 19th.
I didn't know it was coming out that soon.
It came up really quick because we heard absolutely nothing about it. And then they're like, oh, here's a trailer, by the way, like 2 weeks ago.
And it's like a prequel, isn't it?
It was supposed to be Tom Holland's prequel, but they changed it up, so now it's its own thing.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not canon to anything, so it's a completely clean slate, which I do like. I think I wouldn't have liked it very much if it was Tom Holland's origin.
Yeah. Sometimes having your own original thing is more enjoyable. So,
Yeah, plus Marvel's animation seems to all kind of be their own thing.
oh,
Eyes
yeah.
of Wakanda, X-Men 97, What If, now Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And I really dig that. I feel like they do need that, something that's not drawn into the big picture story.
Oh, yeah. I've always been kind of a bigger fan of the standalone stories than anything. So,
Yeah, I think that's what they need to do along with the bigger MCU because like Echo was its own little thing there, but it did carry along to Daredevil Born Again. So I do like that they started it with an origin of Echo and didn't really have anything to do with anything else.
just slightly tied it in with, wasn't it Hawkeye?
Oh, you're right. It was Hawkeye, but her origin was more her thing. But
Yeah, I liked it a
dude,
lot.
I forgot. I forget every day that Hawkeye exists. It's not a bad show, but it just felt no interest in it until Yelena showed up. And it's so bad because Hawkeye's such a good character.
He is.
But Kate Bishop kills me. She fangirls the whole time. And I'm like, oh, honey, just shut up.
So relatable.
So, our next bit of news, I kind of laughed about, and you'll know why. Craven the Hunter is currently the number one streaming movie on Apple TV, according to Sony.
I haven't even seen it yet.
I
Like,
actually liked it
you did?
way more than Madam Web, way more than Morbius, but I liked Aaron Taylor Johnson as Craven. I think he did a good job, but I don't think this was the movie for Craven. But it
I
was a
feel
fun movie.
bad for him because he seemed really hype about the role.
And
Like,
And the fact that Sony announced, well, I guess they kind of announced that the Sony verse will not continue anymore indefinitely. Like right when the movie drops, it's like, why did you do that to him? Now no one's going to see the movie.
yeah, didn't even give him a chance.
Are you a fan of the Sony verse movies?
Uh, I was for a while, but they just kind of started losing me. Like after Morbius, I'm not a Jared Leto fan.
Same. I not
Like,
at all.
I just don't know why people keep giving him roles. I got real sad when I found out he's gonna be the lead in the new Tron movie.
Oh my gosh, I felt the same. I remember when they said there's going to be a new Tron movie, and I was like, dope. And then they said, but there's more. Jared Leto is taking the lead. And I was like, why would you do that? It doesn't even fit the character. Why would you do that?
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know. But Jared Leto, like, I just, him as a person, I do not like. And I haven't liked him in any roles he plays. So, all in all, I do not like that man. So, please keep him away. We are
Stick to
good.
music.
He's a talented musician. Stick to what you know, man. Like, just leave us alone, you and your little creepy self. So when you say you're a fan of the Sonyverse for a while, you were a fan of the Venom movies, and then
Yeah, they I wanted more out of Venom and Carnage too. I just feel like if you're gonna do these movies, you should go all in, but they like have super short run times. They're like just feel very rushed in my opinion compared to the Spider-Man movies. Like they just have better fleshed out stories. So,
yeah, um, the second Venom movie would have done very well with an extra 30 to 45 minutes. They shoved so much in that movie, and I love Carnage. I
me too.
love that little psychopath. And then they did all of that, and it's just
Killed them
why?
off immediately.
Rude. It's like that you're taking a page out of MCU's book, to be honest. So, did you watch the third Venom movie?
I have not yet. I was kind of just waiting until it's cheaper to watch, but
That's fair. It's actually not bad. It I expected it to be just a dumpster fire, but I watched
mhm.
it New Year's and I actually really had fun with it. I think Tom Hardy always gives his all in the Venom movies. He carries the entire movie.
That was his last Venom, right? Or
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah, he said he's done, but it makes no sense because you know Null is in the movie.
Yeah.
That's not a spoiler. It's been out. It's just so everyone knows.
And it was
But
Andy Serkis that voiced him, but I heard he's only in it for 2 seconds or something.
yes, but that's not the weird thing. It's that the Sony said, "Oh, we're not done with Null," and you're like, "The hell are you gonna do with them? You said you're done with the movies.
Yeah.
What is it gonna just show up in Into the Spider Verse? What's going on?"
Gonna have like, I don't know, bunch of heroes and villains team up against him. Oh, I don't know. Because I thought they were working towards a Sinister Six.
Which I hate because I don't trust them at all. Like, but I thought they were working towards the same until the director of Madam Web said, "Oh no, this Madam Web is in a completely different universe." And it's like, then what are y'all doing? Just, like trying to walk around in a room that's completely dark. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, no sense of direction of where they're going, just cash grabs.
Ah, that's all it is. It's just, and as a Spider-Man fan, it's like I take it so personally.
Agreed. I do hear that the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland is rumored to have Daredevil in it. I'd love to see Daredevil and Spider-Man team up.
It I heard that rumor too, and I do think it has some merit to it because, Daredevil is a big presence in the MCU, especially after Daredevil Born Again. But the timing doesn't add up to me because it's right. Spider-Man 4 is slated to be right in between Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. So it's like, how is it going to be a street level movie then? If it's probably on Battle World, I would assume. But it doesn't make sense to
Yeah,
me.
I'm hyped for Doomsday though.
Him too.
Oh my gosh. As soon as they announced that, I started working on an Iron Man Doctor Doom cosplay.
I
So
love that.
that's gonna take a year or two to finish, but
Oh my gosh. Is it really take that long?
Just because of how many freaking armor pieces it has.
Oh, so you're doing a whole costume.
Yeah, I got the. Do you want to see part of it?
Obviously.
Okay, let me grab it.
Okay.
So, right now,
Oh, wow. Oh, that's perfect. It looks just like the comic, Infamous Iron Man.
yes, so
Yeah.
got that. And then the piece, I had my buddy resin print me some jewels for it,
Oh, wow.
but I'm
I
gonna have the
love.
chest glowing as
Oh,
well.
wow. That is so cool.
Oh, yeah. I got so hyped when I heard Robert Downey Jr. was coming back.
I did too. I'm interested to see how they use him as Doom.
I think he's gonna be. I don't know if he'd be the permanent Doom, though.
I don't think so. I think he's going to be a variant Doom because we've been hearing the all of the rumors that after Secret Wars there'll be a soft reboot. So I think he will be the Doom until then.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do some
But
multiverse switch around, and that's maybe how they introduce X-Men or something.
yes, that's what I'm hoping. That I think that's what makes sense because Feige did say after Secret Wars then it'll be the X-Men phase.
Um,
So,
yes, about damn time.
agreed. X-Men, that's my thing. That's where I started. I will ride for the X-Men forever unless it's Charles Xavier because he sucks, but whatever. So, moving on, Stanley Tucci says playing Dr. Erskine, I never get that name right, in Captain America, the First Avenger was one of the greatest roles he's ever had. He says, I was cast as a 70-year-old man at the age of 50. So that was disturbing, but that's all right. It's like,
He's great in everything I've seen him in.
I know he's amazing and everything, but like when he said that he was in Captain America: The First Avenger, I really sat there. I was like, "Oh my God, that was him." I never once thought about it,
Been so
never considered
long.
it. Yeah, and I didn't think I liked the Captain America movies, but I didn't think that one was too memorable for me, just because not much really happens.
Yeah,
But it's one of the first ones that build the MCU, so it's like, of course, it's memorable for that reason.
it's a good old classic. I know a lot of the older audiences loved the original Captain America. So
Oh yeah, it's like the first time they seen that story besides the older stuff that's
I've seen some of the older films and they're
it's
pretty rough to watch.
there. You got to be a super fan to be like that's it. That's the stuff. That's what we want. Goodness gracious. So speaking of Captain America, Captain America Brave New World is officially the shortest Captain America movie of the franchise with a runtime of 1 hour and 58 minutes. But keep in mind, it's the shortest by like 6 minutes. Also, I think that's a
Yeah.
really good time frame. It's not like Thor: Love and Thunder, which was like an hour and a half, and it's not like another other movies that are like 2.5 hours. I think that's a good one.
It's right in the middle for the people that don't have huge attention spans. I
Me,
love watching 3 hour movies, but some people just cannot. So
I cannot
I
stay
get it.
awake. I fall asleep so fast now because it's like I'm ADHD first of all, so I'm kind of like
Okay.
already thinking like, what am I gonna do after this movie? Am I gonna run out of popcorn during this movie? I'm kind of hungry, but I'm kind of tired. And then halfway through, I'm like, I don't even know what happened. I was just in my own head.
Oh my
But
gosh.
then like by hour two, it's like I gotta like stretch or something. Is there like an intermission or something? I'm the worst.
That's hilarious.
Are you looking forward to Captain America: Brave New World?
I am actually. Like, I love the dude that plays Sam. I
Yeah,
think he's great.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah. Um, I'm excited to see his new sidekick a little bit more. They introduced him in the Captain America or Falcon and Winter Soldier show. So,
Yeah, Anthony Ramos. The new
hmm
Falcon, yeah, yeah. I like from what the little bit we've seen from the trailers, it looks like they have a really good chemistry. It feels like Bucky and Sam kind of chemistry, which I really dig.
yeah. Hopefully, they have some good comedic banter between them.
That's what I always want that. Like I always like that's just a perfect amount, not overdone like a certain Thor movie, but I like just the perfect amount. And I think the Captain America movies really nail that.
I've always liked them because they just feel like spy espionage movies
Yes.
most of the time, so have a
Yeah.
slightly different vibe.
Yeah, because everyone knows exactly what you mean when you describe something as Winter Soldier vibes. Everyone knows it's the espionage, the political thriller, that kind of thing. And that's
Yeah,
exactly what Brave New World feels like to me.
it's kind of like I was confused why Harrison Ford was in the new movie, but then I found out the dude passed away, like,
Yeah.
because he had played him through most of the MCU, I'm pretty sure, didn't he?
Uh, he was
Ross.
he was the Incredible Hulk. It was just one movie.
Oh,
It
he
was
only did the Hulk.
yeah. It was William Hurt. He unfortunately passed away, R.I.P. But he did play Thaddeus Ross in the Incredible Hulk movie that Marvel just got the rights to that movie last year or the year before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a whole thing where it was released like Marvel has the rights to the Incredible Hulk, so everyone's like, "Oh my God, they can make a movie!" But it's just the Incredible Hulk movie, not the character. So they do have.
Yeah.
So since they got those rights to that movie, that means they have rights to use those characters in Brave New World, which is why
Okay.
Thaddeus Ross is in there. Betsy Ross is in. Betty Ross is in it as well.
Yeah, I saw that too. So that's pretty awesome.
It is. I think
I
Harrison Ford's a good one to use instead.
um I wonder if he's gonna or do you think they're gonna keep him around or do you think they're gonna kill him off? Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
don't see him wanting to stick around. He's a lot older and he I don't think he wants to stick around for big franchises anymore.
If I'm correct, which I think I am, he's not the current Red Hulk in the comics at the moment. It's shoot, what is his name? It's Robert Maverick. I believe Ross was murdered in Captain America #1 in 2008 with Steve
Okay.
Rogers being framed. So he's not even the Red Hulk in the comics. So I could see them killing him off because Red Harrison Ford, he is up there in age. That is a really big risk to take someone and have them signed on for a few movies when you're like,
Yeah.
oh no, he's getting up there to retirement age. We'll say that.
Even Samuel L. Jackson is getting up there
Yeah.
too. It's like
Yeah, but you try telling Samuel L. Jackson he's too old to play Fury.
I'm okay with him playing him till he's 100. So
Till he's 90.
until he's 90.
So, shoot, where was I? Charlie Cox admits that he had absolutely no idea who Daredevil was before even auditioning. He says, I had never heard of him. I thought it was someone who jumps through fiery hoops on a motorcycle, which means like one or two things. You thought Daredevil was an actual Daredevil, or you thought he was Ghost Rider. And I need to know which one. Like, I won't sleep at night until I know which one you mean.
I don't know. It didn't sound like he was much of a comic dude before, which he nailed the role. I liked him so much more than Ben Affleck as the character.
God, I know. Me too.
It's
What's
like
What's funny
he
about it is that Charlie Cox didn't know Daredevil was blind until the day before he auditioned. So he was going to go into this audition looking around at the faces, seeing the crime. But then he found out and he's like, oh, what do I do? So that tells you like how fit he is to be Matt Murdock. Because even with like such little knowledge, he still nailed the audition.
oh yeah. He just played the character. He got me so emotionally tied to the character. It's just I don't know. He played him so well.
I agree. I think it was really a character made for him, not made for him. He was made to play the character, I think. Just like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. He plays it so, so well, but this is also a good example of when the MCU, not the MCU, Marvel, I should say, Marvel chooses an underrated actor as opposed to a big actor to play these kind of roles because he wants to be around for the long haul. He nailed it. And you go into seeing Daredevil, you don't see his other roles. You just see this actor you don't know much about in a character that you've always loved from the comics.
He even brought up that they're working on that newer Daredevil comic series where he's old.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's made it sound like he wants to stick around for a while if he can. So
It's music to my ears, really.
yeah, I'm all for it.
So, speaking of Daredevil, Born Again, what did you think of the trailer?
I got goosebumps. I'm like sitting at the TV.
We hadn't got an official trailer. We've seen things that were like leaked from San Diego Comic-Con or
Mhm.
D23, but we never actually got anything. But we have got leaked photos. So it was nice to actually see they gave us so much in the trailer, but not a lot because it was a teaser trailer. But we saw Muse, White Tiger, Kingpin, the Avocados at Law. We saw so many things.
Oh yeah. I
So
heard they were originally trying to kill off Foggy and Karen,
they
like
were,
off screen,
yeah,
which
they
would make
were.
me mad.
Because Kevin Feige went in and watched everything that they had filmed, and he was like, absolutely not. We're not doing this at all. So he revamped it, and I believe what it was Matt Murdock focusing on being a lawyer, not Daredevil.
At
Like
all.
before it, they said that he didn't even put on the suit until like episode 5. So what it was supposed to be him after Foggy and Karen died, and it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
That you
Just sounds kind of, I don't know, depressing.
It sounds like someone didn't watch the original Daredevil show on Netflix and they just
Yeah.
took a swing at it. It sounds like they're like, I don't know anything about Foggy and Karen, so kill them off. I know Matt is a lawyer, so let's just focus on that until I figure out what Daredevil does.
Gosh.
Because
Because
I
they
believe,
left the Daredevil show on just a huge cliffhanger, I felt like.
yeah, yeah, I believe
I want
so.
to see what they've been up to.
Oh, plus we get Punisher.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Daredevil and Punisher were like my favorite Marvel shows ever.
Punisher show is so underrated. I do feel like there was something missing from the show, but I can't pinpoint it. But it was a quality show.
I just like that I don't know, they, it was a lot different than any other Marvel show I'd ever seen.
Yeah, it they nailed it with that Netflix show, man. That it felt like Daredevil to me. It was street level, it was gritty, it was dark, it was everything you'd want for a Daredevil. It was like the comics came to life in terms of vibes with the character.
The casting choices, like, I thought the chick that played Elektra and the guy they picked as Stick were amazing as well.
Oh Lord, I don't remember her name, but the girl who played Elektra stuck so hard with me. In the new Daredevil run, it's Daredevil Unleash Hell Red Band #1. And that's whose voice I hear because she's the current Daredevil of Marvel Comics. And they nailed that casting. They nailed it all. 10 out of 10, no notes.
That's dope. She becomes Daredevil.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, they both use the moniker and fight together. But he goes off, no spoilers, he goes off and has to do something else. And she takes over for Hell's Kitchen and she freaking nails it. She's more violent than our Daredevil, Matt Murdock, but
Yeah,
she's trying to not be the assassin she is. So there's a huge internal conflict with herself going on. It's so brilliant.
good. That sounds really good, honestly.
It is. I
Is it in
believe.
the middle of the run right now?
No, no, no. The first one dropped last week, week before last week. If to look it up, it's Erica Schultz is the writer. It's really good. check out your local comic stores because it is really good. And it's red band, so we're getting some real violence in it. And Muse is the big bad. So
I might have to, yeah, go pick some up and read it.
I highly recommend it. I gave it a 10 out of 10. It was so good. Plus, you can see just how messed up Muse is as a character before diving into Daredevil Born Again because I am so happy they included him because he is so dark. He is so messed up.
I've
He,
heard he is. He's like a
dude,
serial killer, isn't he?
he uses the blood and the innards of the people he kills. He thinks he's doing the right thing. He's not, but he uses the blood to make murals. And it's messed up. It is so
What
wild.
the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. Like that's how dark they're gonna go with Daredevil Born Again. That is wild to me.
I'm glad. Because for a while, Disney did not want to do any R-rated stuff. Like, I remember their CEO saying they weren't ever going to.
That
And then they
changed
took
very
that
quick.
chance with Deadpool and Wolverine and made hella money.
I think they knew if they screwed over the Deadpool fans by not making that rated R, they would have lost a large part of their watchers. So I'm glad they like kind of fell on their sword and kind of took the L. It was like, okay, we'll do it. Because now it's paying off for them. You can't just stick to PG-13 and then hope that your audience stays with you when that's not true to the character.
I like that they're starting to realize that for both DC and Marvel that you can have entirely different tones from movie to movie.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't all have to be exactly the same.
I do love that. I love that like Marvel isn't sticking to the usual Marvel formula. Like the bad guy comes in and they all must band together to stop him and then they just kill him off in that movie, which is very much phase 1 and 2. I like that they're trying different things. That's what you need to do. People talk about superhero fatigue. Well, you're going to get superhero fatigue if people are watching the same thing over and over again. And I think they've realized that.
I'm like, this year has got me more excited for Marvel than any year in the last 5 years, I feel like, because they got Captain America, then Fantastic Four in July. I'm hype about that.
Me too.
And then the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
That looks freaking good too.
Yeah. And then you also have Eyes of Wakanda, Marvel Zombies, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Ironheart at some point.
I forgot they were doing that.
Yeah, there's so much coming out. We're gonna be very busy as fans this year, and I am hyped about it because there's so much crappy stuff going on in the world. Thank you, Marvel, for taking at least some off our minds for this year.
Agreed. Last year's been a little rough.
It's been it's been a year. We are just trying to survive. So I am the most surprised about is that they gave us so much in the Daredevil Born Again trailer, and it was only a teaser trailer. We still like haven't gotten a full trailer, which makes me think like, I think they would do really well just to not give us one.
I agree. I think it was the perfect amount of this is what we got coming. I don't like how much plot trailers show nowadays. Like, I want to be surprised when I go into a movie.
I do love spoilers and I actively seek them out because I'm that person. But I do agree with Multiverse of Madness. They put out so much. There was a different TV spot for the movie like every few days. And it's like, why? Why? And then
Yeah,
with Daredevil and Wolverine, I feel did the same thing. It's like, just give us nothing. Just like with James Gunn's Superman, give us nothing else. Just let it drop. You're
I
good.
teared up when I saw that Superman trailer.
I'm not a crier at all, but I did too. When Crypto ran up and he said, "Take me home," that's when I was like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm in. I'll give you whatever you want. Just give it to me now."
With the Christopher Reeve Superman song in the background too. I'm just
I know. Oh my God. I know. Like, I am the world's biggest Marvel fan, but I will admit that Superman is my most anticipated movie of this year. I am so down for it. James Gunn's gonna nail it. I no doubt in my mind. I don't care what anyone says. I'm already giving it 10 out of 10 because it looks like James Gunn actually cared and did his research in the comics and listened to the fans. And that's what I'm excited for.
Me too. I was surprised they picked that Nicholas Holt dude as Lex Luthor.
Well, I guess you can't get worse than the last Lex Luthor.
It's just he normally plays a nice nerdy dude like Beast or Warm Bodies, and then you see him. He's going to be a major DC villain now.
I actually like that because it's unexpected. We're going to see something so unexpected from him. And David Cornsweet, everyone was mad when he was hired. I think he looks great. They said, "Oh, he just looks like a Henry Cavill light," which is such a stupid argument because all of them look like Superman. They all have
Yeah,
the same features. Why wouldn't they all look kind of the same?
and people keep saying he's not as buff, but Henry Cavill's suit had hella padding in it. Like
Yeah.
all the Snyder suits had padding in them. Superman doesn't need to look buff because he gets like insane amount of energy from the sun. It's like I don't know.
Yeah. Plus, it it just let it happen before you go and judge it. Like,
Exactly. We haven't even seen anything from him yet.
yeah, people were upset because they're like, "Oh, I like the Snyderverse. The Cavill Superman's the best one." I'm a Snyderverse fan. I am. But that was not Superman. Superman is all about hope and positivity and what he can do for everyone else. He isn't the gothic Superman they gave us. I always think that's like a variant of Superman.
I agree. It was just I don't know.
Yeah.
Like let's make Superman kill.
And then the Martha scene we all know and love.
Yes.
So wild. So I loved having you on with me. This was so fun.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Thank you for
yeah.
having me.
Thank you for coming on. And you're invited back anytime. Uh, so where can our listeners find you?
I have Instagram. Um,
Let's hear about the Instagram.
yes, it's my personal, so it's kind of hard to. It's at Jones Steven 1995, but I upload all my like art, all my 3D prints on there, um, just a little bit of everything. So,
Well, great.
if you
So,
ever want any commissions for 3D prints or helmets or anything, let me know.
and his stuff is quality work. We in my Facebook group, the Nerd Haven, we have all been looking at his stuff with absolute jealousy and envy and want. And I can say it is quality stuff. So wherever you're watching or listening to this episode, just look at the show notes. You will see the link to where you can find Steven and all his amazing work. All
Heck yeah.
right. Heck yeah. So thank you for listening to this episode of the new and improved Vigilante Vibes. Wherever you're listening to this episode, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my amazing guests or any future episodes. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a marvelous night.